What up, players? Welcome back to another video. So today we got the Nova out here and we're gonna be installing these new Dapper lights that I've always wanted. Ever since I got the car, I first seen these lights on a car on Instagram. This 69 Camaro had them and I always liked those lights and I was like, damn, I really need to get those. So it's time to get rid of these eBay specials and throw on these dope Dapper lights. So let's get into the box. So I already opened this box. I got this package like about a month ago or something like that. And so I just want to go over what it has. I already messed with all the stuff, but I'm going to still show you what all comes in the box when you order these lights and what you could look forward to. So I got this Dapper lighting like rag, pretty nice. So this box is going to be the lights themselves. I already opened it up like I said. So here's what I got. I believe they're called the V2 headlights. So it's going to have a little small halo. You see the smaller ring there, that's gonna be a halo, and then it's just like a regular headlight, right? So I got the HID package, and so you can see all the stuff inside here. This is the HID bulb itself, and it comes with all kinds of different wiring and stuff. This is all basically gonna be for one headlight. So I'm gonna be breaking it down. I'll get it out here and lay everything out, show you guys basically what hooks up to what the steps are gonna be to getting this thing lighting up your car for you. So okay guys, so I got everything laid out here. This is gonna be the setup for one light, and then I got a whole nother set of this in the box here for the second light. So here's the second light and all the other wires. So basically there's double of all this, and it's all gonna plug into each other. This is a HID bulb itself. It comes with like this plastic cover just to protect it. You don't want to get your fingers like greases on the actual bulb or anything, because it could possibly affect it in the future or whatever. So there's all these different connections, and it comes with basically what almost all these old school cars have, this connection here. So this is gonna plug into your actual socket or connector on your car. And then this is the ballast for the HID bulb. This is the HID bulb. This is all the stuff it comes with, guys. So I'm not exactly sure what each thing does, but I know they all gotta be hooked up and connected together. So I'm gonna connect them all here and I'll show you guys everything goes together, everything's plugged in, and we'll start getting the headlight actually ready. That way we could just remove mine and throw them on, and then we'll deal with the wiring behind the core support. Okay guys, so on this, the ballast here, it has these two open ends. All these kits should come with similar wiring. I'm not sure if they're, because they make different types of lights, and I don't know if they're all gonna come with the exact same things, but they should be around the same thing. Everything's gonna connect to each other, so you can't really mess this up. So this is going straight to the HID bulb. You're gonna make these connectors here. One's male and female, the other one's also male and female, so you can't put these in the wrong place. Then you got this big plug here. It's going here. Obviously this is gonna be like some sort of ground, so you're gonna have to mount this in your car somewhere on the body. Then this connection here is gonna actually plug into the HID housing, the headlight itself basically. So make sure everything sits in there nice and clicks. Then these two here are gonna be running to these. The black one's gonna run to the black one. You plug those in, throw this plastic over it. This yellow one's gonna go to the red. Throw this little rubber over it, plastic, whatever it is. And then so this is what's left over basically. It's gonna plug into here. So now we basically got everything hooked up. Everything's connected. Our bulb's gonna sit in our headlight. We're gonna ground this. Plug this into our headlight connection on the car. This needs to hook up to your daylight running light wire, and this needs to be a ground. So basically this is everything that needs to be hooked up to your light. I know it's a lot of stuff, but this is all that you got going on in the headlight. All right guys, so what you're gonna want to do on your car is remove the actual buckets. I don't have my grill or anything, so it's kind of exposed. Your car might have a few more things in the way here, but most of these cars should have 3 bolts around the housing itself, and you can pull the whole thing out in one piece with the ring, the housing, and the headlight itself. So here's my first one. Get it with the screwdriver. Here's the second one, And then the third point is just holding on by the spring, which allows it to have a little bit of movement or whatever. So you're gonna get those 2 bolts out, those 2 screws, and then you pull the whole thing out after you unplug the electrical behind it. All right guys, so I got the headlight out. Like I said, I unplugged it. Your light could be a little different than mine. If you just got the standard old school light, your plug would be straight onto the back of this here. But so I got the housing off too. This is what we're gonna need to keep. We're gonna need to keep this housing, and then you're gonna get your headlight out. So it also has 3 little bolts here, which should be holding your ring onto your housing. So get those off, and then we're gonna be setting our new headlight in the housing. Okay guys, so we got our new headlight. I got my old one out. Here's my bucket. It shows on the glass. I don't know if you can see it there.
You can see myself.
But it shows the top, right? So you're just gonna match those up. You know where to align this. And it also has these little grooves here. There's 3 here that the headlight matches. That way it locks it in place. What you're gonna have to do in some cases, like in my case, I'm gonna have to, you could look here and it doesn't sit all the way flush because the headlight is a little deeper than the other one. So I'm gonna have to modify the bracket or housing a little bit. I'm gonna have to cut out some of this, which is not gonna affect anything. It's still gonna mount here. What you might have to do is as well cut into your core support. So come over here this way. I'm gonna have to. So I'm gonna have to cut into my core support some, cut into the housing. That way the headlight can actually sit in place where it needs to be sitting. So I'm gonna get into that right now. I'm gonna start cutting this out, open this up, and then we'll continue on our steps. All right guys, so here's what I did. I cut the backside. Obviously you're gonna wanna clean it up. I still left a little bit of metal hanging off, but I'm gonna clean this up nicely. And you could see here, it's actually sitting in the grooves in all 4 spots. So that's what you want. That way the headlight's solid with the housing. And yeah, now we're gonna have to, like I said, fit this up and see what I need to adjust here. So I'm gonna have to clean up quite a few here to get this seated. I'm gonna start cutting this out, and then we'll get the headlight nice and mocked up. All right guys, so I finally got these things on together. I ended up going with these black rings, so I swapped out the hardware too. If you can see here, I ended up welding some little tabs on it just because I like the bolts better. I just feel more safe versus the little screws that it had, because these lights are way more expensive than those eBay headlights I had. So I just feel more safe with this, a little bit of more work. You can see I cut the backs out. Anyways, now that these are all together, I'm gonna show you guys how to put the HIDs inside if you guys have that option. And I'm gonna show you the little bracket that it comes with. So it comes with this little clip to hold the HID in, this little bracket, and it comes with the hardware, so it's like 3 little bolts. And you're gonna need a really small screwdriver to tighten those on. You're gonna sit the HID in there, and then this bracket, it's gonna go something like this. You're gonna have to stretch it with some pliers and something like that, but I'll show you guys once I get it on there. I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay guys, so I got the 3 little screws in, and then I use the clip. I sit the HID. It only goes in one way because it has these 2 little tabs, and it sits in place. And then I set this clip in. I use these pliers just to wrap it around right here, and that pretty much seals the HID bulb in place there. So now with this, if you have everything trimmed on your car, obviously I still gotta trim this out, but then this is basically installed. You would want to feed it through here, and then it'll mount just like that. Then you could start with the rest of the wiring on the inside. Make sure to plug in all this stuff like I showed you guys earlier. Alright guys, so I just cut out the hole right now. So it's bigger than before, obviously. On your car it might fit without cutting, but on my car it doesn't, so I had to cut. So I'll just show you now, feeding the wires through. And obviously I gotta adjust the screws, but I got these 2 screws here. I gotta both screw in a little bit, but now the headlight sits in place where it's gotta be. So now I'm gonna end up cutting the other side out and get them mounted up, and I'm gonna just show you guys how I route the wiring on the back side over here. Alright guys, pretty much got the final installment of this. So I still gotta tuck the wiring a little nicer right now, but I got them installed. I got them working too. Let me pull the switch right now, I'll show you them. So this is what it looks like with just the running lights on. Like I said, you gotta hook up that little red wire to your daytime running light, basically like your amber light. You would have it ran to your bumper turn signal lights, basically. Different cars have your turn signal lights different spots. Mine were in the bumper before, so I ran that wire to this. Now when I pull the first switch on my dash, these little angel eye halos turn on. Next I pull it out again and it'll turn on the headlight. Right now it's not going to be the best time to show it because it's daytime, but this thing is insanely bright. We saw it at night, it's crazy. I just got to get them into like a leveled surface so I can actually adjust them properly. But this is the final install of them. Let me show you guys the wiring. So it's kind of a mess back here on the inside because I have my relays for my fans and a couple other things here, but I just left a lot of the wires long and extra just so I can make sure everything's working properly. So now I'm gonna go back and tuck everything nicely, get some loom and cover everything up nicely. So I showed you guys how to connect everything properly earlier. The only thing that's gonna be different on your car is gonna be this one here. So this red wire I got going to my park light wire. I have a American Auto wire harness. So this red wire is what's gonna be the controller for the actual halo itself. So if you wanted to run just the halo by itself, you're gonna run it like if it was your amber light on your bumper. So when you first turn on your light switch, that halo will turn on. That's gonna be this red wire. The rest of the stuff, pretty simple. It all plugs in together. Here's the headlight itself, plugs into the headlight connector. I got the blue wire grounded. I got the little module mounted here. And then yeah, so there's 2 grounds with this. And that's pretty much how it is. So I got the same thing going on the other side. It's kind of hard to see with the battery in place, but I got all these things pretty much done. Just time to clean it up nicely and leave it nice and tucked in there. So that's pretty much it, guys, as far as like the install part of this goes. It was a pretty straightforward setup. And now the only thing left is to adjust the headlights at night to get them aiming properly. That way your lights are not shooting different directions or shooting into people's face when you're driving at night. So one of these nights I'm gonna get out here, set everything up, make sure the car's on a level surface, and you get a nice flat screen in front of it or like a wall or something. Then you could adjust those properly and get them looking nice. So alright guys, it's been some time. I didn't really film an outro for that video, but I just want to give a final thanks to the guys at Dapper Lighting for hooking me up with a good deal on these lights. They're great lights, and I just wanted to show you guys the final outcome of them. I know I still haven't done anything else to the front of the car, but I wasn't lying. I did clean up the wiring, and I do want to show you guys that. And just the final look of them at night, so you could see how bright they actually are, because these things are insane. And yeah, let me just open up the hood real quick, and I'll show you guys what it looks like inside now. Alright guys, so here's the inside. Now none of that crazy wiring is in the way anymore. As you can see, I moved the relays and stuff too, and now the wiring is nice and tucked down behind the light. This side you can't see because the battery's in the way anyways, but I did the same thing. I cleaned up my wiring a little bit finally. So these lights are awesome. I really recommend them. They have tons of different styles and options, and just different ways that you could make them yours or like your style for your car. So let me give you guys one last clip. Alright, so I'm gonna turn off the lights and take a step outside. Alright, go ahead and turn just the halos on. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it looks insane. Let me see if I can focus. That thing looks awesome. So that's just with the halos turned on. Look at how bright it is. Now turn on the full light. So look at all the brightness over here. Pretty crazy. Very bright. Blinding actually from here, but you gotta see these things in person. These lights are insane. Look at this. It's like perfect photo shoot lighting, but alright guys, this is the end of the video. If you were thinking about getting these lights, I hope this video convinced you, because like I said, I'm really happy with the outcome of these lights. And if you already got the lights and you're looking to install them, I hope this video helped you out too. Made it a little bit easier. Or if you're just a subscriber, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.